Welcome back to another video. This time it's all about the best off-road vehicles of 2019. 2019's been a pretty good year for me. I can't complain. The channel started to grow a little bit. We've got some really great partnerships, which is snowballing into 2020 and is going to be bringing some really big content. I can't wait for it. It's going to be super exciting. I know you're going to love it, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are a Supra fan, not the new one, not the new Mark V, the Mark 4s and the Mark 3, if you want to call it a Mark 3, previous generation. We got some news for those, so stay tuned to the end of the video for that. And without further delay, let's get on to this list of off-road vehicles. Now, this list is in no particular order. Some of these vehicles obviously belong on the list. Others I'm kind of going, maybe. So let me know down in the comments as we go if you agree with the list or what you think should be on the list that may not be. Now, I'm going to start at the very top and get the obvious one out of the way. The Jeep Wrangler. This thing is purpose-built to be the baddest off-road vehicle in the market. I mean, there's no really arguing this point. I mean, it's got solid axles front and rear. It's got lockers. It's got aggressive 410 gearing. I mean, everything about this truck, detachable sway bars, is purpose-built to be an off-road beast. There, I said it. It's on the list. Get it out of the way. Moving on. Next on the list is the Mercedes-Benz G-Class. This is the vehicle that I'm kind of going, maybe, maybe not. Or maybe I'm just not a fan of it. It holds a six-figure price tag and looks like a shoebox. I mean, it has no design to it. It's completely square and looks like it was designed in the 60s. But hey, that's just me. I'm not a big Mercedes fan. It is what it is. But it made the list anyway. Next on the list is the Land Rover Defender. Not a big shock here. Land Rover has already proven themselves to be pretty capable off-road if you want to pay that price tag. And honestly, I'm not too sure about their reliability as of late. It's kind of one of those deals where people buy it for the name. So the one vehicle you should know is going to be on this list, aside from the Jeep Wrangler, is going to be the Ford Raptor. This is probably the baddest pickup truck on the market if you want to go off-roading. This thing is just been a beast since the day it came out, and it gets better and better every year. So with a long travel Fox Racing suspension, a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 with 450 pound-feet of torque, this thing will move. It's more of a desert runner than I guess a rock crawler, but still it has been proven to go over more than enough rocks and obstacles to put itself on the list, and is probably my favorite choice of all the vehicles here. It's been called the off-road king for quite a few years, and for good reason. Next on the list, no big surprise again, the Jeep Gladiator. This one is fairly new to the market. It just came out and it's making waves. I'll tell you, ever since it hit the showroom floors, people have been eating this thing up. It comes in as many trims as basically the Jeep Wrangler, but it's more capable than the Jeep Wrangler. It looks like a Jeep, but it's kind of more of a truck. So it carries that off-road capability, and yet you can still actually do work with it. As far as styling is concerned, though, it's kind of hit or miss. It goes from one extreme to the other. You either love it or you hate it. My wife loves Jeeps. She hates the Gladiator. She said it's completely ugly. I got other people that tell me they love the way it looks. It's a gorgeous vehicle. And, and that just seems to be the way people react to it. There's no in between. So it's either for you or it's not for you. Next in line is the Ford Ranger. This one I like. I'm pretty happy it made the list. And ever since its debut, it's had a very simple design, but it's been very effective. And the off-road capability of this little truck has been pretty astounding. One of the biggest things that really stand out on this vehicle is the trail control system. This has a better trail control system than the Toyota Tacoma. They've been put up against each other on trails, and with the trail control set in both vehicles, the Ranger has proven to be more aggressive. It can get over obstacles a lot easier. And whatever calibrations they put in this has been very, very effective in the off-roading. So that's one of the reasons I believe it made the list, and there's many others that follow, such as the off-road tuned shocks, suspension, skid plates. It's got a lot of torque with that turbo engine, so it makes low-speed crawling pretty easy. Now, if you're not a Ford fan and you prefer the Chevys, the Colorado ZR2 is the next on the list, specifically the Bison model. Now, the ZR2, it's been called the Mini Raptor, and I don't think that's too far off. The ZR2 gets a 2-inch lift, a longer wheelbase, long travel suspension, lockers front and rear, low range transfer case, a slew of other things that really make this probably one of the best off-road vehicles in the mid-range truck market. I love the looks of it. It looks aggressive, and there's just something about this truck that gets me every time I see it. Next up is the Land Rover Range Rover. Now this is more luxury to me. I mean, yeah, Land Rover, again, same as the Defender, it's proven itself off-road, but I don't really see this as making a list as best off-roaders of the year. I mean, to me, it's a luxury SUV that's pretty capable, but not something I'm going to make a big, huge deal about. So I'll zip through this one real quick. Moving on, let's get to something more interesting. Now we have another Jeep that made the list. It's the Grand Cherokee Trailhawk. I actually drove one of these and really like it. There's a ton of features in this vehicle for both creature comforts and everyday driving and your off-road capabilities. This actually sits on an air suspension with multiple different settings, from rock, snow, mud. I mean, it's got a handful of selections, and with that air suspension, it will raise and lower the vehicle to your needs. So for a unibody SUV that you can drive every single day, this is probably the most practical one on the list. I like it. And it comes with the reliable 3.6 liter V6 that's in pretty much every other Jeep on the market, but it's a great engine. It's a torquey engine. It does really well, and I've got no complaints with that. I'm actually pretty glad that one made the list. Next up is the Nissan Titan Pro 4X Diesel. Now this Titan has a 5-liter Cummins engine that produces 310 horsepower and 555 pound-feet of torque, which obviously is going to be really great for off-roading. It has the Bilstein shocks, the locking differentials, and you know, it's probably Nissan's best truck yet. Although Nissan's having a hard time selling trucks right now, especially the diesel models. I think I've only seen one on the road. So I know Nissan's going through a bit of a slump when it comes to sales, but it doesn't take away from the truck's capability off-road. So then we have the Toyota Land Cruiser with the 5.7 liter V8 and 8-speed transmission and a lot of creature comforts. Needless to say, Toyota vehicles are very reliable and have all done extremely well off-road. The Land Cruiser is probably one of the biggest vehicles on this list because it can hold up to 8 people. So if you got an entire family you need to take off-roading, you might want to check into this one. Next up's another Toyota, and we're looking at the 4Runner TRD Pro. Obviously, this was going to make the list. This one always makes the list. It's a great off-road vehicle. It's the perfect size for practicality. You got an SUV with plenty of ground clearance, lockers, aggressive looks, and aftermarket that you can do pretty much anything with this vehicle. So this one definitely deserves a spot on the list. So that's CarBuzz's list of best off-road vehicles for 2019. Again, there's many on there I agree with. They deserve to be there. There's a couple that I'm like, maybe, maybe not. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the list, or maybe there's something you would have put on the list that didn't make it. Now let's get to our bit of mini news for today. Toyota is starting to remanufacture older Supra parts. So if you have a Mark IV Supra or a previous gen, which they call the A70 Supra, Toyota is starting to remanufacture parts in which to get your hands on if you're looking to restore or just maintain your older Supra. They gave us a small list of what they're going to remanufacture, and they are going to take more requests for other parts. So if you contact Toyota and let them know what you're looking for or what you need, they said they're going to take the parts they get the most requests for and start remanufacturing them as well. Right now, I'm going to drop you the list on what they are currently going to manufacture and then take it from there. So if you have an A70 Supra, some of the parts they're going to start remanufacturing include a propeller shaft, door handles, fuel sender gauge, weather stripping, and front emblems. Now, if you own a Mark IV Supra, or as they call it, the A80 Supra, they're going to be remanufacturing the headlamps, door handles, and brake boosters. Again, this is just a start. Toyota said they're going to gather up requests and start remanufacturing parts they get the most requests for. So if you have an older Supra, keep an eye out at your local Toyota dealer. You may find some parts there you couldn't find before. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, and I'll catch you next time.